started one step forward and 10 times back, and I was just like, what's going on? So I didn't really think I'd ever formulate this into what I have. But I realized that it wasn't and when I woke up screaming from nightmares, it wasn't just a nightmare. It wasn't just a nightmare. It was real life. It was happening. It was like the world was playing out right in front of my eyes, but I could see it in my nightmares. And I kept telling myself, this isn't real. Like, come on. Like, this isn't really happening. And then, boom, it was. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? But I just wanted to share on that for you guys for a minute, let you know that why I'm a little speechless when it comes to talking about all this, because it's something I never envisioned that I would ever be able to formulate the words for everything and be able to get through it emotionally. And I still struggle. I'm not gonna lie, I do. These are my kids. And, you know, I'm not saying that people don't love their kids. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But I'm going to tell you right now, when I think of my children and what I went through with my children and the feeling that I felt at the time I was discovering things, as I was discovering, I could feel my heart literally breaking inside my chest. And didn't sound logical to a medical doctor, and I couldn't explain why I had the feelings I did. I only could explain what I was feeling. I couldn't explain why. I'm not a doctor. And so basically, as it all came to light and all came around, and I realized that everything medically I had diagnosed myself with was a broken heart, was happening. The loss of my children, not one, not two, not three, but all four, completed my chambers of my heart. And without one chamber, I wasn't complete. And it wasn't, you know, like I said, some parents can go on and do what they need to do. I've seen parents do it, you know, and I've heard from my own family the philosophy of, well, they'll come back. It wasn't about all that. It was about the in-between time. It was about every moment they were doing in between. It was about every excitement, every time that they needed somebody to hear them, every time they needed someone to be there for them. It was about the low and the highs. It was about every freaking moment of their life that I was going to miss. And this became, for me, into my life. That was it. Everything that I believed in, breathed for, lived for, was gone. And all I could do was keep fighting and fighting and fighting. So I'm going to tell you how TikTok came about. I'm not an actress. Everything you see is real. You're going to see me on days where I'm having good days and I'm happy, let it go. You're going to see me on days where I'm sad. You're going to see me days where I'm going like, what's really going on here? You're going to see the real me, because that's who I am. My one friend tells me, you know, like, I want to meet Michelle that I met when I first met her. And I'm like, I don't know how you talk about someone in third party, okay? This is me. This is me. And who you treat me and how you treat me, that's who you're going to get. You're going to get me being able to say, it's okay. I know I forgive you, or whatever. And I do forgive a lot of people. I have forgiven a lot of people in my life. It's their choice if they want to continue the image of we didn't do anything. That's between them and God. You know, I can't judge that. All I can do right now is try to keep getting on my feet, keep trying to move forward, keep trying to put my life in order the way I want it to be and always want it to be. can't ever take this man out of the picture completely, forever. When I mean out of the picture, I mean like he will always be the biological father of my kids. But I can show you a world that's much brighter when we remove these type of people out of the world, all of them. Because kids will learn how to process abuse, learn to process trauma, and learn how to move forward and through life to find happiness. I saw my kids do it. I saw all 4 of my kids do it. Even in placement with Children's Services, my children still were able to do things with family, and they, like I said, that little house will always be, the 1 bedroom will always be the happiest time of my life. The moment that I had all of my children, and even when Nicole wasn't physically there with us, we kept him there. We talked about him. When we would do our marshmallows and campfires, and when we did the singing and everything we did, Nicole was there. Nicole was there. A plate made for him right there at the table because he was there. Not really, his plate was not really made at the table, but you see what I'm saying, that he was there. Like, we talked about him, we kept him alive, we kept him a part of always, never forgetting he was there. And when somebody would say, well, you only have, 2 brothers, or 1 sister, or 2 sisters and 1 brother, and that's when my kids would step up and say, nah, man, I got a little brother too. He's out there, he's coming home one day. And my kids would step up for that. They let it be known, like, nah, man, no, you ain't taking our Colbert. You might have him physically in your custody, but he's there in our heart, and so you're never going to take him from us. This is where you would hear me do the same thing. On holidays, when we had holidays, we opened presents, things like that. Even in placement with Children's Services, when we did our holidays, we always made sure to include every child that was not there, because unfortunately Children's Services like to play a game to make sure that one child or another missed out on something. So whenever they would do this, we always made sure that the next visit, when we had that child there, we let them know, like, this was for you, and these are gifts from me and your mom and your brother and your sisters and grandma and everybody. Like, I included everybody. I always included everybody in the situation, and I always made sure to bring it to, you were not forgotten. Just so you know, they may have had you physically, but you were not forgotten. This is never going to change, because even though you want to say you can change moms and dads or aunts and uncles or any of that, you really can't. You can't touch a bond built like this, and you can't hurt these children more than they've already been hurt, or me. So your inability to use your power of government power to control, it didn't work, because all you do is destroy yourself. Again, I want to talk on, I'll do a part 2 on this because obviously it's going to be too late, but I want to talk on TikTok. I want to talk on how did TikTok come into play for me, and why did I start speaking through music, okay? Because that's where it all started. That's where I started to be able to put the words together to formulate what I needed to do, while at the same time I was dealing with the actual Children's Services and the government agencies and the ex. I had divorce and custody papers, everything else. I had 2 things going on at once, and I'll explain more of that in a minute, okay? Watch part 2.